Yes, I was going to say the first step is to look at, do you have family? Do you have people who can sponsor you? Are there sort of those kind of options available to you? If that's not the case, then you have to come here. There's no doubt about it. If that's where you ultimately want to end up. The point about this scheme, though, is not about stopping people from entering the country. It's about then processing them in a different place and suggesting that actually we're not saying don't come to the UK. It's saying, look, come to the UK in a certain way. Understand you will then be sent to Rwanda, and then you'll be processed there. And what surprises me is that nobody's suggesting that people are going to be mistreated in Rwanda. Nobody's going to suggest that that sort of the conditions we would expect asylum seekers to be kept in are going to be breached in some way, shape, or form. They're just appalled that people are moving them to Rwanda. Now, it's a processing issue. People don't have a right to automatically gain entry to the UK. They've got to be processed. And that's, I think, what we need to be focusing this conversation around. It's about the processing, the conversation about where you go. And equally, if you are, say, a Christian from Pakistan who is in fear of your life, it doesn't matter where you go. You're going to want to go somewhere where you're going to be safe. That's the first duty of care for any refugee, but it's also the first thing that a refugee wants. If, however, you're putting a hierarchy of things on your needs, saying, actually, I demand to go to the UK rather than just a safe place, well, that changes things slightly. Are you actually an asylum seeker then, or are you a migrant? There's questions to be raised about that.
Alan, I'm very happy to talk about the process, and I'm not sure we're entirely clear on what it precisely is at this stage. I think a lot of us thought it was going to be the case that people were picked up on a beach and were sort of effectively deported straight to Rwanda and then would have their asylum claim processed there. From what I've read since, it sounds more like you have a snap decision. There's that word snap again. Snap decision on your status, a determination about whether you're an economic migrant or not, and then you're sent to Rwanda. Is that your understanding?
That's my understanding. The devil is going to be in the detail, of course, and certainly we've heard, for example, it's only going to be young men who are going to be, there are all these questions that remain to be answered about the actual detail of how this works. So it's kind of difficult to form an overall opinion beyond the general concept until we do know those things. But I'm inclined to, as you say, as a few more details have come out, to believe that it won't simply be picked up and sent over there, because there has to be a determination in the UK as to what, if you're an obvious case, then fine. If you're not an obvious case, then maybe you have to be dealt with here.